Join me
as we take a look at this nonsense
that I used to create this. And please give me some props because this heinous packaging was my inspiration.
I honestly have no idea why people lost their minds over this. It's so fucking ugly. But typical Pat, gonna jam a rose up here any way possible.
So let's just jump straight in with the highlighter. Upon opening it, I noticed something.
Now tell me, do you see it?
Here's a closer look.
For those of you who missed it, the amount of product in the Bridgerton highlighter versus the 2 grams less in the Heart's Desire.
Seriously, Pat, that seemed fair?
With the ever-increasing price tag?
No, it does not. Now for some swatches. Nude Opal, which is described as a coral champagne with iridescent pearls.
Upon closer inspection, it's just blue and pink micro glitter jammed into a pretty dull highlighter that you'd likely miss unless you were looking for it.
Now let's swatch the Bridgerton one beside it. And for fun, her regular old highlighter. It'd be hard to see on camera, but there is a notable difference. But to prove it, let's whack those products on that face. Look at her original formula. Glistening, glowing, deity. Even slut up that brow bone with a gentle sweep. Look at that. Clean off the brush so that shitty one doesn't have a cheating chance. So you know I'm not cheating and got it on that brush. Let's add more, I guess, and side by side. Dear, we can certainly tell what the shitty one is, can't we? But now onto this abomination and its flaccid packaging.
But first a rundown on Pat Mcgrath eyeshadow palettes. First up, we have the Luxury Motherships. Her premium palette, which until recently was the only one to contain the luxury Italian formula. Next down, we have her mini Motherships, which come in her American formula, which were recently repackaged, and for the better.
Those flaps are pretty annoying. But everyone complained when she released one last year, because again, they were comparing it to the Luxury Mothership, which this isn't the same product.
Then she released her quads, serving you the same delicious Italian formula as seen in her Motherships.
Then a spanner got thrown into the works.
A couple of years ago, she released her quints,
which were the same formula as in her quads, but for about half the price, and with an extra shade. Now there's this con artist
masquerading as this,
when really these two are the ones that need to be compared, and not this shit. Kept this shot in because look at that highlighter. Boom, amazing.
May as well just swatch this. Kept this shot in because my hand was slightly damp after cleaning it off, which made the pigment seem stronger.
First we have Galactic Glow, a dull and dry champagne metallic with minimal reflect. Next up we have Star Garnet, a temperamental shade which will never give you the same thing twice. I mean, look at my hand, and look at my eye. Next up we have Amethyst Noir,
a black-based purple metallic with heavy scatter
of lavender micro glitters. And next up we have the namesake of the palette. Really, Pat? This is what got you juicy. Daring Desire is nothing more than a warm skid mark. And here are all of the lacklustre shades. But just for funsies, I thought to compare the Daring Desire quad to the Risque Rose. Daring Desire on top, and like any good rosebud, Risky Rose is on bottom. And just look at that quality difference. But that's none of my business, is it now, Pat? And one final thing. Let's take a look at the pigmentation today versus my last video. Yeah, not great. Honestly, I do like this palette, but not for $97 fucking dollars.
Ultimately, Pat, go back to giving us what we pay for. This is a company with a net value of $1 billion, and with $700 million of that in your pocket, you can afford to give us what we deserve.
And with that being said, adios, kiddies. See you next time.